Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. STARCARD Podcast. This is the inaugural term of Invisible College here at Breakaway University, where we combine advanced science with hermetic mysticism. Breakaway University, be you, where we encourage everyone to be you. My name is Breakaway Ray. Ever since I connected to those Renaissance era Rosicrucian occultists, they will not leave me alone. You've tuned into a live tarot throw. It's June 21st, 2026, but only for about the last hour and a half here on the west coast of the United States. And let's share with you what's coming up on the show. Excuse me. First up, we're going to throw some tarot haiku. We're going to get out a fancy dark foil deck of tarot cards. We're going to invite the tarot world to tell us a story with the tarot haiku layout. Probably going to be related to the stuff that I'm going to talk about today. One of the things we're going to talk about today is the High Priestess. This is an occultist, a magician who knows about the spirit world and how incantations work and how intention works. And another thing that's very important about the High Priestess is her high morals. She's using her powers only for good, and she's not bragging about it. And she's the one that's going to admit us into the university, into Invisible College. When you're ready, whether you know it or not, she'll admit you into Invisible College. That's right. We're going to revisit Invisible College, inaugural term. Other things we're going to talk about today. Oh, well, I got to show you this. I made a nice poster for the High Priestess. Okay. And then what have I got here? We're going to talk about the story of Junior. We're going to ask the tarot world about it. I'm going to just leave it right there. If you already know what I'm talking about, then you already know what's coming your way. Okay. Then we're going to turn the camera upon you, and we're going to ask you what's going on. Surprise, you're a Trojan horse, you're a sleeper cell, and we are waking you up. I think that's one of the themes we're going to start off with right away today. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, we'll try to make it entertaining. Okay, and then I'm guessing in about an hour, that's how things have been going lately, it'll be time for tarot for the audience. I want to invite everyone in the chat, if you're tuning in live, to participate, and make sure you type in capital letters so I can see it right away. There have been a lot of people typing in the chat, and it's much easier if I see capital letters. I don't read the chat during the show. It's not a good idea. I cannot keep up. I have no idea what's going on. Sure, it's fun reading it after the show. And before we get going here, I mentioned our friends, the Rosicrucians. This links up with yesterday's show. I used to brag about how I learned tarot, and I started with this deck, the Classic with Words. I'm going to take one out just to show everyone, to refresh everyone's memory, okay? There you go. There's your Ace of Wands. So you have the Rider-Waite imagery, okay? And then you have all the terminology and everything that's related to it. You learn tarot in a hurry that way. Now, why am I emphasizing the Rider-Waite imagery in this particular deck? Again, this is the one that helped me accelerate my learning on tarot. And what I want to say and emphasize is that all the imagery is done by, some of it's done by the man named Mr. Waite. I forgot his first name. And he was hanging out with the Spencer Circle and the Rosicrucians in those days. I'm not sure which, but I know he has a tie. I'm quite sure Sir Philip Spencer actually worked with him and as they were composing this deck of cards. And this deck of cards is not just for play. It's an actual tool that accesses the subconscious. And when I say the subconscious, hey, everybody, the subconscious is a giant pool we can all jump in together. It's like the public pool. Not too long ago, what was it, in March, several visitors entered my dream from STARCARD Podcast. I'm all, hey, what are you guys doing here? Anyway, how do you think I can access what's going on in your lives when I do tarot for the audience? I have no idea what's going on, but this is a direct tool. I'm asking this tool to deliver the message. So I do encourage you, if you haven't already got this deck, this is more than just if I study hard and I learn the cards. I think everyone saw yesterday, these Rosicrucians and other spirits are like standing by waiting to deliver messages, because I get the impression there's really something coming in a hurry. It's not too far away. I'm going to stop right there with my predictions. I haven't even gotten started with the show. Have I got everything covered? I think I covered everything, including my tarot table. I'm going to have to clean this up, but we will right now. Hey, everybody, let's go to the tarot can. All right. Let me tidy up my stuff. Oh, jeez. Turn off the light. All right. Oh, I gotta block that light. Wait. That doesn't work as well as the orb. Here we go. The obsidian sphere gets the job done. Can I go like this? Does it fit? Oh, it does. Okay, good enough. And this goes into the deck. We're going to start shuffling soon. Yes, the craft deck, another deck that I used yesterday, again, with Rider-Waite imagery. So this deck is standing by. So like if you would like your own, if you'd like the Rosicrucians to pay a house call as an oracle and help you get yourself one of those decks, I think it's more likely to happen that way. All right, so Tarot Haiku, I'm going to set out 2 cards, 3 cards, and 2 cards. And short story is, there's going to be a short story. All right, let's throw these cards. Yeah, off we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Awesome. All right, Tarot World. I turned on the camera. Thanks for inviting me to go on stage. I love appearing with you. You guys are the stars. And now, here's your chance to show your stuff. Show us what all the special occult pictures mean. Share with us your hermetic views. I know you want to inspire us, and you probably want to do your little call to arms, as that's what's going on here. Whoa. Here we go. Tarot Haiku. We need 3 in the middle here. Wow, these cards look really good, don't they? Huh? Just the backs look awesome. All right. I'd like to reorganize things. Create a different space. There we go. This is for entertainment purposes only. Oh, this is so lovely. All right, let's party. First up, it's the 5 of Wands, guys. Orchestrated disagreement. And in a multi-dimensional sense, it's a meta message for STARCARD podcast viewers. We're talking about our mission statement, okay, which is, I kind of hinted at it in the introduction. We're trying to elevate ourselves to a world with advanced science and hermetic engineering in a way, okay, to benefit everybody, lift up all of humanity. Enough being a debt slave. Okay. Anyway, next up, being a debt slave, 5 of Cups, that's disappointing. So we're starting off with disappointment. Okay. The status that we got right now in the civilization where we're at. Oh my goodness. 9 of Swords. No wonder Breakaway Ray is up in the middle of the night and can't sleep. But Here we go. Here's the turnaround, everybody. It's the strength card. Be of agency to yourself. Be like an Arcturian. Point your finger and say heal. Heal, okay? And then, voila, you shall remember your godlike powers. You'll have a new opportunity, new project, and you'll have something new to learn. In fact, we all have something new to learn. We have something new to learn in a big way. We have a lot to learn about ourselves and how our intention creates the world around us. We're all co-creators. I didn't used to like that term, but yeah, I get the idea now. We need to take advantage of it. I was just going to say, there's the Page of Wands. We're all co-creators. There's limitless opportunities for that. And I'm thinking about such things as remote influencing, for example. So finally, everybody, you know what? This goes along with one of the messages I'm going to send you today. You've been selected and you elected yourself to be part of this great moment in Earth's history. Congratulations to you and your soul. What a great adventure. You know, we're feeling it down here because of the memory wipe. We have to get past our anxiety and become strong. And then we realize we really are strong. We're much stronger than we even supposed. And part of that might be, you know, we come to a realization with a little self-reflection. And with self-reflection, you know, we turn inward and, you know, the drop never stops. This is a limitless perspective. Look, this guy is so high up, he can see over the pyramids. Okay. So anyway, the universe selected you to lift the vibration here on Earth. Congratulations. You got the job. You got the job you wanted. All right. Thanks, Tarot World. See, that's a message that's heavy with, I wonder if this is like just a smidge of subjective bias on my part. I wonder if that's like a message for me. I mean, everybody has their cross to bear. And so, you know, everyone feels like their cross is the heaviest. But that part of that business is, you know, what motivates us to find the magic inside of us, you know, find a way to overcome, find a way to thrive. Thanks, Tarot World. All right, I'm going to come upstairs and collect my notes at the same time. Here we go. All right. And I'd like to adjust the lights real quick so I can read and still visually not painful. I think I'm almost ready here. Tarot haiku. Awesome. I wonder if you guys can handle that. All right, great. Oh, okay. I'm going to take one of my 3 timeouts. All right. So today in the description, I put a link to a video from the movie National Lampoon's Animal House, which I referenced yesterday. And in it, the character, I think the name is John Blutarski, but they call him Bluto, is in the cafeteria and he's loading up his cafeteria tray and his pockets and his mouth with food. And it's it's one of the great scenes in movie cinema history as far as I'm concerned. I wanted to share with you in case you haven't seen it in a while. If you've never seen it before, I'd like to say, you know what, as soon as you see him done, like at the thing with all the food, okay, when he starts like participating in the dialogue, you know, you could stop there. Things get a little carried away because it is a National Lampoon, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. I'm just saying, I'm just focusing on the beauty of the scene where he's got his tray and he's sliding it along and he's collecting food and what have you, and they're playing the Sam Cooke music, and it's a very groovy scene. But John Belushi did that throughout the movie, didn't he? As that character, I don't know. He really was a great comic actor. Everyone can agree. And how much did he communicate without even communicating, right? He wasn't even verbalizing in a lot of the movie. But I wrote some notes about the character Bluto from Animal House. I wrote that he's magical like a satyr in the woods. You know, he's different. He's not what you expect. Even among his fraternity brothers, he's different. Okay, right? He's fearless and invincible. He gets away with everything. And he practically, well, not practically, he does. He taunts. he taunts people who try to catch him. You know, he's like a Bugs Bunny character in a lot of ways. Okay, and he's respected and honored for his aura, for his presence. Okay, you know, his energy. When you add it to the crock pot of all the fraternity brothers, it adds a very special flavor having Bluto around. So, you know, really, again, no matter what he does or whatever, I know he's a cartoon character, okay? But no matter what he does, nothing ever happens, okay? So anyway, I want to say a very, very unique character, very uniquely played by John Belushi. And so I also want to say about the character Bluto, look at what I wrote. You know, he's an alchemist who takes disasters like Dean Wormer closing down his fraternity house and turning it into the greatest party of all time. Toga, toga, right? Okay. I just want to say, like, that's the kind of attitude you got to have. You know, if the Titanic's going down, the band's playing, let's dance. All right. So what else did I write here about Mr. Belushi? Belushi's performance, yeah. All right. Now I'm waxing all poetic here. I'm getting really serious about my passion for the humanities. I mean, it's a great performance. It's a great, unique character, and it should be applauded. It should be up there on the shelf with the rest of the humanities. And I'm talking about the Night Watch by Rembrandt. I'm talking about any of Beethoven's symphonies. Yeah, put Belushi's performance up there. It's some of what the best of humanity has to offer. It can make anybody laugh. I don't care what species they are. All right, or what planet they're on. Okay, so what did I write here? Belushi's performance, worthy of inclusion as humanities, the best art humans have created. There's no cussing. There's no cussing. And there's nothing like the run-of-the-mill porn on TV in 2026 today, okay? It's good, clean adult film, okay? You know, but again, he's making people laugh, and he's not just because he's using a potty mouth. Anyway, congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Belushi. Enjoy the clip, everybody. I know my description the last couple of days has not been the traditional one. Well, I had to break away a little bit. I did repost the dialogue I had with Google's Gemini. For those who didn't catch it yesterday, there was a lot of learning that took place as I dialogued with Google's Gemini. Thank you, Google's Gemini. All right, now I want to talk to you guys. I want to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, who've been getting readings from the show. I wonder if you saw or observed what I observed over the last couple of days. Pardon me. What I observed when I was giving individual readings, it's almost like the tarot world is calling everybody out. It's calling everybody out. Like everybody needs to, turn inward. You know, you're getting the Hermit card. You're being encouraged to look at your subconscious. The message keeps on coming in, and I can't help delivering it. That's just the way the cards lay out. But I think, all right, I mean, if you've been with me for a couple of days here or whatever, okay, there's a team of Rosicrucians. These guys understand how the spirit world works. They're trying to connect to you, and I'm like the telegraph operator. I'm using this tool like a telegraph. I'm sending messages. I'm receiving messages, okay? And they're using their cards up there or what have you, and they're using my brainstem and my nervous system to respond and share knowledge. I think we all agree that it seems like a dialogue from a ghost, okay, when I deliver some of these messages. And again, they're saying to a lot of you, you need to Four of Swords it and meditate. You need to be like the hermit and turn inward. Ladies and gentlemen, they're inviting you to communicate with them. So I want to double check my notes on this before I go to a familiar diagram. Let me check. Yeah. So I pretty much covered it, everybody. You know, you're being invited, but it's more like you're being called out in a way because it's kind of urgent. And so here's what I want to do. I want to tell you about the media fast. In case you're new here, this is the problem, isn't it? Isn't this what's causing my podcast? I've been on media fast since March. No TV, no radio, very limited internet. And in any case, because I've limited my intake of external media, I've had lots of time to study my thoughts. It is true, I am not employed, and that's a different story, but I still champion the idea that anyone who can meditate and connect with their higher selves within 45 seconds turns Rockefeller into a failure, okay? Because you are advancing, even if by a millimeter, all right? They can't stop you once you connect with your higher self and you expand your consciousness, okay? So here's what I want to do. I'm going to show you a diagram I made for a show a few days ago. Let's go downstairs. You know, this is for the benefit of everyone who missed it. A little review for people who've been in the class before. I think I talk like a teacher. Okay. Ooh. I don't really. Here we go. Can I go like this? Yes, I can. All right. So everybody, here's a diagram, just a sample. Okay. Again, entertainment purposes only. How do we reach the cosmos? Well, you could start by standing on the ground and looking out to the stars, expand your consciousness throughout the galaxy and the galaxies beyond ours, etc. Or you could turn inward, close your eyes, and reverse or invert the process like Ant-Man going microscopic, right? So you start with your individual consciousness, okay? And then that filters down into your subconscious, your hypnagogic state, you know, just before you go to sleep, just, you know, after you wake up in the morning, okay? And if you can get deep enough, you can get to an echelon of a collective soul, which includes variations of your soul, your whole wheel of incarnations, your samsara. And then you can broaden beyond that to embrace the entirety of the cosmos, which goes on forever. But here you are, everybody. Okay, you've made up your mind that I've got a routine. When I get off work, I got like 90 minutes of media to, you know, filter into my mind just so I can get the taste of work out of my brain. Okay. Or I woke up in the morning, I need to turn on the TV and see what's going on in the news. I wonder if anything has changed since the last time I've checked. It feels like the same thing has been going on, not just for the last couple of weeks, but probably for the last several decades. I mean, a constant state of fear, okay? Whatever it is, everybody, you know what I want to say? I feel like you're missing out because I can attest to the fact that I feel like I missed out. I feel like I wasted time watching reruns. I definitely wasted time if I ever sat through a commercial, right? I wasted time listening to songs I've heard over and over again, unless I was singing along and it made me feel better. Okay. Don't want to listen to a song and then just sit there and ponder memories. Okay. If I'm going to do that, I'm turning off the radio and I'm going to resolve whatever it is I'm thinking about. But the point is, you know, eliminate the media line. Take a media fast. Take a break. Give yourself a chance to do this before you die. Learn something about yourself, because you don't want to get to the other side and then all of a sudden you find out, well, I guess I could have taken care of this before. I didn't know this was coming. Okay. You want to be caught ill prepared? And that's what the Rosicrucians would say. Spend the rest of your life preparing for what Tony Rodriguez might say is the last 3 minutes of your life, because whatever vibration you have in those last 3 minutes, that's what's going to direct your next incarnation. All right. Good luck to everybody. Trying to help out here. Okay. So I just talked about the last 3 minutes of your life, because your aura fluctuates. If you were to sit in front of a Kirlian camera and watch on a monitor, the colors of your aura change. It would change depending on your perspective on the things that you're thinking of, your emotions and things like that. And however your aura looks, your aura would be a reflection of your electromagnetic frequency. However your aura looks during the last 3 minutes of your life could very well dictate the direction, because it acts like a compass to your next life if you have to go to one, right? If you have to. All right. So what I want to say, this is stuff that was already known by Sir Philip Sidney, a Renaissance era writer and occultist who hung out with Dr. John Dee, spelled capital D-E-E. Dr. Dee worked with Queen Elizabeth I. Okay? And Sir Philip Sidney was a courtier and a diplomat for Queen Elizabeth I. And as a matter of fact, this is not related to his story of unrequited love. I believe that was called Astrophil and Stella. But he did marry a different woman who was the daughter of the Queen's spy master. That's pretty intriguing. But sadly, he died very young. I think he was 32 years old. He died in battle. I want to tell you, if you don't already know, okay, I want to tell you about a very famous act of chivalry on his part. He was wounded in battle, and he was alongside another soldier who was also wounded in battle. And he handed the other soldier his canteen, his water bottle. And he said, "You need this more than me." All right. How about that? And then, anyway, don't forget that he was an occultist who had already planned in his mind that he needs to prepare for his next incarnation, because he was already collaborating with people to upgrade humanity using the occult system of the reincarnation process and directing your own soul in such a way that you could be of benefit to lift up society. Okay. And I say this because there's a story. It's for entertainment purposes only. Let's use our imaginations. Okay. The people in the Sydney Circle and the Rosicrucians all agreed that that was a good idea. You got a short life. Okay. So plan for the next life. And what they did was they all planned for a new Atlantis on North America. And it said that the founding fathers were reincarnations of these people. So to go back to Sir Philip Sidney, if I can remember where I was. Oh, yeah. So this is a guy, if he was able to read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, he most likely could. He definitely read many occult scrolls and texts and things like that. He had conversations on a daily basis with master occultists, master magicians. Dr. John Dee was one of them. Okay. And who else? Giordano Bruno, Bruno. Okay. So he hung out with those guys. So here's the thing. He was injured in battle. He was a young man, 32 years old. He'd already had, a perfectly primed brain filled with occult and magic conversations and actual practice. Okay. Even within his home with his sister, who is a great magician in her own right. Okay. He didn't die right away. It took him 23 days. All right. So remember, he's a very determined young man. And this guy was in his deathbed for 23 days with like nothing else to do but to focus on the goal he spent his entire adult life focused on, right? My next life. He had already aimed for it. And then he had 23 days to exact that aim, to focus in. How about that? He's probably coming back with a bang, right? All right, so now my notes get a little bit more difficult for me to read. It's not daylight yet. I got a few hours yet. So I'm going to have to go back to the incandescent bulb here. Yeah, I want to make sure I cover everything. Oh, okay. So the story of Junior. Out on Montauk Island in New York, in the United States, there's a place called Camp Hero, and there's a story about a time traveling operation there, and they called it the Montauk Project. I want to say Project Pegasus. I'm not sure I got that right now. Anyway, if the correct name, if I'm off by somewhere, I'm sure someone will correct me in the chat. But in any case, I want to get to the story of Junior. So in this place, they employed children psychics to open portals for them. And they sat in a chair that was extraterrestrial technology, which amplified their already latent psychic abilities for manifestation. But these children were treated terribly. They were slaves. And I care not to describe how terribly they were treated. You can find information about that elsewhere. But here's the deal. One day, one of the kids is sitting in the chair, and he thinks to himself, yeah, I can open up this portal, but you know what else I could do? I could call forth a monster to free us all. Someone who will just take care of the bad guys. And lo and behold, that's how the story goes. Junior, a very large monster from the astral world, manifested into the real world and took care of some of the bad people out there at Montauk on Long Island. But as far as I could tell, there was no what I would call collateral damage. No innocents were harmed. That's not, I've heard the story a few times. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't hear stories about innocent people being harmed by Junior. Junior just focused in, I suppose, on the signature of the people who would hurt others. I'm not advocating violence at all, but I tie this into the conversation on the Typical Skeptic podcast yesterday with Rob Khalil and his guest Audrey, and they were discussing how a lot of secret space program experiencers, these super soldiers, these people with extreme psychic gifts, you could sit there and take the punches. That would be cool if you like playing rope-a-dope, if you understand the analogy to Muhammad Ali in boxing, but you don't have to do it that way. You have the powers. You can make a decision. I know it helped to get organized, right? If you pool all your energy together, it exacts a greater punch, doesn't it? So anyway, I wonder what the tarot world would say about that. Surely they would not advocate violence in the sense, hurting anyone at all. But let's see what they have to say. We'll find out in a little while. I'm not throwing cards there yet. But let's go back to the High Priestess now. I'm going to go to the book, first of all, and read you the definition of the High Priestess. Let's see, which book is it? Let's try this one. The High Priestess. Card number 2. Opportunities. Oh, excuse me. Wrong one. The High Priestess. Practicality, good judgment, wisdom, mystery, the clouded future. A woman of interest to the seeker or the seeker herself. Well, practicality, good judgment, and wisdom and mystery. That's one version, right? I'm going to go ahead and pull the book out to read a different definition of the High Priestess. Let's go right to the Rider-Waite book. Here we go. The High Priestess. You have hidden mysteries, spiritual insight, and divine knowledge. Now is the time to be still so you can tune into your intuition. You have the opportunity to access the knowledge deep within your soul. You hold the answers to the deep unknowns. Let what is hidden come to the surface. Trust your inner instincts to guide you. I'm going to conclude. Oh, well, I wanted to conclude by showing you the card, but I shuffled that deck. So the High Priestess is in here somewhere. I want to say, I'm recapping how I always look at the High Priestess. She's kind of like one of the Salem witches. She's got the powers. She's got the know-how, and she doesn't want to brag about it or draw attention to herself. That's not a good idea, okay? Because someone's going to want to commandeer her, okay? And like a genie in the bottle, make her the genie. But in the meantime, that doesn't mean that she can't use her magic in a wise way, in a beneficial way, because you know what? All the spirits that she sees around the community, they want all these humans to succeed. And these humans can't succeed if they don't get a little miracle now and then. And you know what? Miracles happen when we think positive thoughts, not just for ourselves, but for one another. All right. So that's why the High Priestess, by the way, is monitoring you. That's why she's the one who admits you into the Invisible College. If you remember, it was nicknamed the Invisible College back in the Renaissance era because, until you were ready to see it, you wouldn't know where it was. But this whole time, everybody, you've been taking tests because Earth is a school, so they say, and you've been passing tests. And that's why you've been awarded greater psychic abilities, greater psychic talents, more insight, more downloads, refined intuition, better discernment. The more you succeed, the more you are rewarded, but you have to use it in an ethical way. I believe that there's a safeguard up to prevent people from going rogue and using their magic in a bad way. And I'm thinking of the Philadelphia experiment right now. That was not a good idea. Anyway, we're all about being good magicians and only using good magic. We have to hold hands to do this. We're going to be much stronger that way. So I want to call everyone's attention to an image I just had in my mind while I said that, which was the Marvel movie, the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it was the second one. And, the villain in the spaceship who was going to come down to the planet. If his spaceship touched the planet, the planet was done for. And so the inhabitants of the planet sent up there are many different spaceships, right? The little golden spaceships, individually manned. But when they got up to where the big spaceship was, of course, one of them's not a match, but they all united together. They used their magic together to form a shield and a net, okay? I want to say, by the way, because I'm talking about Junior, and I'm talking about lifting up humanity in general beyond the oppression, both the occult oppression and the oligarchic oppression, okay? Oh, well, too many thoughts going on here at once. Sorry about that, everybody. I was gathering things together. Yeah, okay. So I'm mentioning Junior, and I'm thinking to myself, again, we could all pool our resources. That's what remote influencing groups are doing. Think about those people who can afford their own remote influencing team, not just remote viewing, remote influencing. They sign non-disclosure agreements and they make a lot of money, but they only work for a certain corporation or certain individuals. That's kind of what we're up against. But what I was going to get to was Arkeem Ra. He has made a presentation as Edgar, an alter of his, who's from another reality where they know about the black magicians and the people that use the dark magic and stuff, and they don't put up with it. Okay, in that reality, in Edgar's reality, they're aware of it and they keep an eye on it. And I presume they all hold hands and they battle up against it because they're educated. Not the same in this reality, perhaps. Well, anyway, something for us to think about there. Okay, something to add to our intent when we ask the tarot world what we should be looking at, what they would have us focus on. I wonder what else I got down here. So the High Priestess, yeah. High Priestess represents high morals. High morals. Okay, we're floating everyone's boat, and that goes along with the mission of the Rosicrucians. You know how they want to introduce a new society. You know, a new Atlantis on North America. I know it was 400 or 500 years ago. Okay, but guess what's happening right now? All right, we're really breaking away. We're on the precipice of, like, you know, we've been riding this roller coaster up. Oh yeah, we're there. We're almost there. Almost there, dude. We are going down the log jam now, and there's gonna be a big splash while we go down. People are gonna be screaming, and in a way, it'll be fun for some of us, I guess. The rest of us are gonna be terrified. Anyway, let's move on. What else have I got covered here? So what I wanted to mention was that one of the things that the Rosicrucians care about is perfection of the soul. Perfection of the soul. I would say that people in the United States might not understand that concept unless they really are, you know, church or temple goers or very religious, okay? Because you would have to have high morals to understand perfection of the soul. You know, a soul that aims high, loves all, blesses and forgives all, okay? Thinks of others, thinks of the whole community first. I would say that here in the United States, just from what we see on our own media, okay, that's not the way it is. There's barely any morals, much less high morals. So that, you know, that may not even ring a bell with us to even think that way. In the same way, it may not even ring a bell with us that, you know, we should use our own magical powers to fight back against these guys instead of just taking their hits. Okay. So that's why I think the spirit world is being very cautious and judgmental. And the High Priestess represents being judgmental. You know, who gets in the club? Who gets into Invisible College? Okay, we only want the best. All right, we don't want people who are not going to finish the term. We want people who are ready to do the work. Okay, thanks for enrolling. Good luck. Have I covered everything here? Yeah, divine wisdom and moral perfection. I think I went on long enough about that. All right. And then I mentioned earlier some notes about tarot. I wrote down here, tarot is a tangible bridge to communicate with and across the subconscious. And if you understand what the subconscious is, maybe you have some better understanding of what I just said. So I would like to read what else I wrote here on the paper. Let's see what I got here. Imagine communicating by telegraph. The man tapping out the Morse code signals is Mr. Waite, the guy that helped design those images. You know, everything is very specific and means something. Okay. All right. All telegraph operators using this deck are Rosicrucians. You know, their aim is soul perfection, the very highest morals. Okay. All telegraph operators using this deck are Rosicrucians, masters pursuing the perfection of the soul with the highest ethical code. I'm glad I wrote that down. It sounded better than trying to riff a minute earlier, right? Why not read it again? I wrote it down. I don't have to remember it. Okay. Let's start over. Breakaway Ray. Okay. Imagine communicating by telegraph. The man tapping out the code signals is Mr. Waite. All telegraph operators using this deck are Rosicrucians, masters pursuing the perfection of the soul with the highest ethical code. The Rosicrucians left us this burner cell phone to contact them. Okay. Now, just for fun, I pose the question, why might I be good at tarot? Why might that be the case? Well, if it's true and I have some kind of tie to Sir Philip Sidney, I don't even know who this guy is. If I have some tie to that guy, well, you know, he used to hang out with Mr. Waite, so no wonder. But I would say I wouldn't even have to be like a soul associated with the designer of the deck. I'm telling you that this is easy enough to use. It's like designed to be easy for you to use. If you could figure out apps and stuff on a phone, it's not that different. It's just another system, okay? In fact, you've seen me over the last couple of shows. I use it. like someone would use an AI system, and I pose questions. All right. It's a form of remote viewing as well. So I think I'm ready to throw tarot cards for the subjects that I covered today. Let me get my posters out. Ooh, check the time. Hooray. Gave myself a breather. Well, I think we're going to start everybody by making it relevant to you. Okay. Excuse me. So, surprise. Maybe I have a role, right? So obviously I didn't land this lifetime randomly. It was planned. Perhaps I've had previous lifetimes where I've refined my aura and I aimed in this direction where I was going to be some kind of public speaker. Basically, I feel like I'm an alarm clock right now and I'm bringing it at dawn and I'm waking you up. You tune in. It may be, early morning hours where I am. Wherever you are, I'm trying to wake you up. I'm sending you messages from the Rosicrucian team. Okay, get ready. We're giving you an advantage. We're giving you a leg up. We're giving you a hand out, a helping hand up. Okay, because when stuff goes down, you got to know that the spirit world is on your side. So if you want more information on it, you need to check your operating system. You don't need to know Sumerian, but what you do need to do is to ask yourself some questions. I'll just say that, I believe that that's like the key. That's the whole key to psychic activity, is asking yourself questions. Whether you're remote viewing and you're trying to refine a certain sensation that you've received, or, whether you're turning inward and consulting with an oracle or an ancestor or a family member or a spirit of some kind, you're asking questions and you're listening for an answer. That's your alarm clock going off. Let's ask the tarot world what you should be prepared for. You little Trojan horses, you. Did Breakaway Ray call us a bunch of Manchurian candidates? Okay. Now, to stay with the theme, I'm going to go to the craft deck. Same imagery, just an easier shuffle for me. Let's go downstairs. Whoa. Great. Anamnesis away. Okay, surprise, you're a Trojan horse. You're a sleeper cell. Your DNA is opening up. You're getting new gifts, new perceptions, new observations. And if you would just turn off your computer and take out the earbuds, you'll hear a story. Your brain will tell you a story about what's going on in your life. Here you go. Thank you, Tarot World. We're all ready for some help from the Rosicrucians. If you've got some sleeper cells in the house, oh, wow. Let's deliver that message. This is for all the Trojan horses in the crowd. Waking you up. You star seeds, you. This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. Thanks for playing along with me, everybody. Let's have some fun. First up, yay, it's the World card. It represents completion and accomplishment. The Knight of Cups and the Justice card. You're the knight in shining armor, and for a good cause. You have to win, says the Five of Swords, okay, on your mission. Sweet. You have to grow says the Seven of Pentacles, you have to cultivate your soul until you become a King of Cups, which is a monarch who, well, I shouldn't have used that word. The King of Cups is an energy which is balanced with emotion and knowledge and empathy, because this king looks after all his subjects. He wants what benefits the whole kingdom. That's what lifts up everybody and keeps him in power. Everybody's happy. I mean, if you want to be Machiavellian about it, okay. Well, being Machiavellian, you just send the King of Pentacles over there to tell everyone to shut up. All right, anyway, I got off target there. Let's start over here, okay? So, surprise, you're a Trojan horse. You're a sleeper cell, and we are waking you up. So, take another look at the world. Here's what the world is to you right now. The whole thing, the whole focus is, okay, you're the knight in shining armor. You got to come down here and win. And by winning, you become a King of Cups. So, keep working at it. That's right. Focus on the happy memories. There's 6 cups there, and that's always going to supersede and overcome just 5 cups, which is the disappointment card. Okay. Light always triumphs over dark. That's how you're going to win. Okay. 51% of the time, keep smiling. You got to force yourself to. Good training. But that's the whole show, everybody. Congratulations on being selected to be the knight in shining armor. All right, thank you very much, Tarot World. See, this is kind of fun when you get the Rosicrucians chiming in with the tarot cards here. All right, I'm going to give these a toss and go to the next subject. I appreciate you all tuning in today. Thank you very much. Thanks for your support. Next up, the Invisible College. Okay, so it's not just a covert backroom way of exchanging ideas as it is suggested in history. Okay, the Invisible College actually refers to a group of spirits, planning together cooperatively ways to improve a community. And in this case, with the Rosicrucians, it was the entire planet. It was all of humanity. They're not the only society to think that way. But what other Invisible College am I thinking of right now? Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, I'm thinking of how Edgar Cayce talked about how communities in Rome and in the Mediterranean decided that they would all reincarnate together, in North America, in the New Atlantis. And there's that term again. So I'm focusing on the occult Invisible College. There's a good chance that if we're all having this conversation and you're buying into it a little bit, maybe, okay, we're in touch with the Invisible College and maybe we're representing them, right? Because we got information to get out. I don't want to talk about the economy right now. I understand you. I'm talking out loud right now to the spirit world. They want me to talk about the economy. But anyway, I'm going to save that, I think, for another occasion, if you please. Thank you. But I do invite you, Tarot World. What's the status of the Invisible College? Are people who are tuning into StarCard podcast and watching this video, are they participants? Well, aren't they participants? Isn't it obvious? Isn't it clear? There's a plan. These people have been allocated resources. They have been given programming to pick up your frequency at StarCard Podcast. Yeah, there's an Invisible College. Everyone tuning in is enrolled. Well, it's all for entertainment purposes only. Thank you for tuning in and auditing my class. Let's check it out. Hey, it's the Four of Cups. We're going to appreciate everything the universe gives us, even the unseen things like that 4th cup. The Wheel of Fortune says now it's time to really look at that 4th cup. And you know what? The 3 of Wands says that's long-range planning. Could that not be more harmonious with Invisible College? People planning their next lifetimes. Talk about planning for the future. Planning their next lifetimes in such a way to lift up all of society and all of humanity. But you can't do it if you don't appreciate every part of the cosmos. And that includes the invisible world. Anyway, this is super clever. I want to thank the Rosicrucians for helping me throw that draw there. Wow. Anyway, look who shows up again, the Five of Swords. We come down here, we got to mix it up, and you know what else? We got to win. It's mandatory. We have to win. If we don't win, we could lose the Orion Wars. Does it sound desperate? Okay, but the Five of Swords is we have to win, and guess what? The way to win is to be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Yeah, I remember that song, sure. Okay, so check this out. Look at the magic. Tell me the Rosicrucians are not helping me here. It's the Knight of Pentacles. You've been selected. You are the good employee. The High Priestess is letting you into the invisible college. You earned it. You got a good resume, good moral character. We like your aura. And the Queen of Pentacles says, you know, when we give you these gifts, you are a sensible, practical custodian of these psychic skills. So I want to thank you for being ethical and having integrity, everybody. Invisible College. Knight of Wands. Charge forward, you Breakaway University Bodhisattvas. The Nine of Pentacles. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You worked hard to earn those gifts. Enjoy them. And guess what? The Ten of Pentacles. Domestic bliss, long-term security. Make the magic happen to make your life better. Okay, and it all starts with perspective. All right. Very good, Tarot World. Thank you very much for discoursing on the Invisible College. Let's give these cards a toss. Go to the next subject. We're really fortunate, I feel, to have friendly spirits helping us out here. Let's go to the story of Junior. All right, Tarot World. Hey, Rosicrucian buddies. Okay. The story of Junior. Well, I told you how it went. What does the Tarot World want to say about the story of Junior? And should we consider that like a rallying cry to help facilitate things and move things along here? Tarot World, I invite you to advise us on the story of Junior. Thank you. Please advise us on the story of Junior. The story of Junior. Can you advise us, please? You know, my view is limited. Yours is not. Please share with us what you know and see. Thank you. All right. If the camera was not turned on and someone saw me doing this, they might call someone up and say, Breakaway Ray needs to go to an insane asylum. I'm just teasing myself. Okay, story of Junior. What do you say, Tarot World? The Two of Swords. We're at a crossroads. We have to decide how are we going to handle people who are behaving inappropriately with humanity and humanity's technology. And, you know, the occult is a technology. It belongs to humanity. It's part of who we are. It's been taken away from us. Okay? But we don't see where to go. So, yeah, we are asking the Tarot World for some guidance. All right, there you go. Recapitulating the thesis. Well, the Eight of Wands says right now, Page of Wands, we need to expand our perspective. Okay? That would be very 3D just to sick a monster after these guys. Okay. We need to expand our perspective. Maybe we need to, you know, check with Edgar's reality and see how they do it over there. I definitely would like to know how they do it. I've thought of that before. But you're right. There does need to be a change, says the Death card, which represents endings, beginnings, and transformations. Maybe we need to take the lesson of Bluto from Animal House and take these disasters and turn them into something fun, something that we can all enjoy, something light. Okay, wow. Well, here's the High Priestess. We need to have high morals. I am under the impression that the Tarot World is against sicking a monster like Junior. Okay, that doesn't mean we can't fight fire with fire and use magic as well. Okay. But the high priestess is here at the end of the sentence saying, you need to have high morals and high ethics. You want to make it simple karma. Do you want to do something like that? It's going to come back at you. Why didn't it come back at the child? Well, guess what? Those other guys had it coming at them. Okay. That's how that balanced out. It worked for him, the child, would not work for us. Not the same way. Okay. So let's move on. Yeah. So don't be reckless with a tool that basically we know nothing about. A 16-year-old may be able to drive a car in the United States, but that doesn't mean I want that 16-year-old to have the responsibility of a 21-year-old and be able to drink and among other things, that we consider an adult responsibility. Okay. Anyway, let's move on here. The Queen of Swords. You are right. The Page of Cups. There's going to be a happy surprise. I'm going to want to start over here. You're at a crossroads. What do we do about those people who practice magic in an inappropriate way? We need to expand our consciousness right now for this transformation to take place, and we need to take the higher ground. And if you can do that, and if you can do the right thing, there will be a surprise that you're going to be happy with. There's the World card again. It'll all be over because you will have overcome all those challenges, says the Seven of Wands. Yeah. Take the higher ground. Aim high, everybody. Because I think there's other factors involved that are going to lead to this happy surprise. And I think that's the happier we are, the happier the world is. Anyway, I want to get carried away on that thought. Thank you, Tarot World. I know you know what you're talking about. I feel like I understand the message, but I'm getting wrapped up in it because I really love the beauty and the syntax of the tarot throw. All right, everybody. Positive thoughts. We're only here to help people. You want to stare at goats? You better smile at them then, okay? Here we go. There we go. Smile at the goats. Exactly. All right. So finally, we just saw the High Priestess a moment ago. She's the admissions officer. And so now, since you're, admitted to Breakaway University and Invisible College, according to the High Priestess, she would like to have a few words with you. So here's a few words from the admissions officer. They took your application. They read your essay. They checked your test scores. Welcome to the Invisible College. Here's a message from the High Priestess for all of you. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. All right. Rocking out in the middle of the night with tarot cards. A message from the High Priestess, the admissions officer at the Invisible College. The Ace of Swords. Here comes the truth. Here's a whole lot of truth. There are big changes, says the Death card, and big transformations. Many of you are Queens of Cups, empathic individuals, and you're very sensitive to the needs of others around you. That's probably why you've been placed there, right? To be a support to those people. They are in a way, they are your subjects. They are in your queendom. They're in your area. So while you have this opportunity during this transformation to be a good leader, don't forget to meditate, says the Four of Swords, and relax. Look at the World card show up again. And everything will be over before you know it. Time flies when you're having fun. Remember that one? Okay. So the Page of Swords says, look at this matchup. The Page of Swords says, I just said matchup too, by the way. Page of Swords says, get out there and have fun. Show everyone, what it means to maintain a high vibration and look for the silver lining in things and turn the heartache upside down, right? I just said a few minutes ago, try to be happy 51% of the time. And if you can, If you can't do it, then train yourself. Force yourself to be an actor that's performing just for yourself. And, be happy. Overcome the programming that says you have to focus on heartache. Let's turn this heart upside down. I mean, how many doo-wop songs have I heard where they're talking about someone's got a broken heart? Okay, so what? I spent my entire childhood listening about how I'm going to grow up and have a broken heart. It's funny. Okay, so the admissions officer says, oh, this is the anamnesis card. Anamnesis, the 7 of cups, okay? While you're in the Invisible College, you'll use anamnesis for most of your studies. You won't really need a textbook. You can operate with a tarot deck, but anamnesis is, of course, remembering things from your past lives, so that this way you can build upon them while you're here on Earth. So, a message from the High Priestess. Here's the truth about the big change. Your admission here has been based on the fact that you could be a good leader in the world. So relax, everybody. The world's being taken care of. You go on and have a good time. You go, girl. We'll take care of the other stuff. And we're going to send you messages via anamnesis, okay? That's how you're going to download your curriculum. Thank you, High Priestess. Thanks for making an appearance today. I want to thank all the friends in the tarot world who made those messages possible. Hooray. An hour and 6 minutes in, and it's tarot for the audience time. I'm going to give these a toss. Happy to throw more cards. All right. That was cool. Come on, I'm trying to get this stuff out of my system. Okay. What I mean is, I haven't slept in a while. So I had no choice. And you guys have been here with me before when this has happened. I might as well turn on the camera. What does the tarot world want to say? What do you guys want to talk about? Glad I got it off everybody's chest. I hope it was a good show, everybody. I'm going to go into the chat now and say hi to who's here. And if you're new and you don't have a name tag yet, I'm going to make you a name tag. Wait a second. What's going on here? Time out a second. I'm drawing the line, everyone. Here we go. Anyone who comes in after the line, I'm sorry to say I may not get to your reading today, but if you're above the line, I'm going to do my very best to get you a reading. If you don't actually want a reading, anything you type in capital letters is something I'm going to see. So at the same time, I'm going to follow the same old procedure, which is I'm going to say hi to people, remember who's here, and get out their name tags. Because I'm just so happy you're here. I'm very happy to throw cards for you. It's not taxing. It's not exhausting. It's good training for me, for better or for worse. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I like this business of me knowing as much as I do. I mean, outside of the program. It makes me wish, I was saying this to myself before I turn on the camera, I wish I had a job so that I didn't have to think about what I think about all day long. I need something else to think about. But I guess that's not in the cards for Breakaway Ray. All right, who's here today? Art Life is here. Hello, Art Life. Thanks for tuning in again. Hello, Spider Bite. All right. Hi, Kimberly Bamford. Good to see you. Who else we got? Missing Time 420. Sweet. I should have known Jason would be awake. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Jason. Arizona Raven's here. Hi, Arizona Raven. Hi, Lisa Talcott. Got your notebook, Lisa? All right. Let's see who's here. I think I saw... Yay. Antonietta, thanks for joining us again. Did I see Salama? There's Salama. Hi, Salama. And Patrine is here. Hello, Patrine. Australia, Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, STARCARD podcast. Woohoo! Multi-continental tarot card throwing. Sweet. All right, let's see if I missed anybody. I was meaning to do like a series of days about the High Priestess, but I guess we were waiting for this to come up. Well, is that everybody? I wonder if I got everybody. Yeah. Look at Art Life. You got in just before the line. Good job, Art. There's Spider Bites request in capital letters. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go get the name tags. Hey, Spider Bite, I see you want the Doors deck. That's what I was thinking. So for sure, I'll go get the Doors deck. Thanks for your request. So I'm going through the caps right now, and the pile's getting bigger. All right, Lisa Talcott. All right, Patrine. Spider Bite. So again, yeah, Spider Bite, no problem. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm going through my shamrocks and schoolhouses and apples. Like, for example, I got Salama right here. Did I have someone from the shamrock pile? I don't think so. Okay, I'm in the schoolhouses now. Antonietta. Arizona Raven, and thanks for yesterday, Arizona Raven. You yielded. I appreciate that. A heaping pile of tarot reads yesterday. Art Life. Ding-a-ling-ling. The bell rings for you. Kimberly Bamford. Aloha Missing Time 420. All right. Now, I think that is everybody, but, you know, I could be making a mistake. So if I miss you and you're above the line, please put a message in the chat now. I'm not trying to ignore you. I'd love to throw cards for you. I appreciate you tuning in. Okay. Danica Crabtree's here. Hey, Danica. I know what I just said or whatever, but I'd be happy to throw cards for you again. You know, take the reading that we did already as part one, and let's build upon it. Let me get your name tag out, okay? And I really do appreciate your feedback. I know it's hard because, you know, we're not all together or whatever in a regular way, but your message makes me feel like I'm helping somehow. So I'm going to get your name tag out, okay? Oh, Danica Crabtree, I made you a cat. Yeah, very good, Danica. We'll catch you on the recording. We got it covered. So those cards, when we read them, I'm talking in general for everybody, they read like an energy, right? They're a message of, it's a picture. It's a picture of what's going on in your part of the subconscious, transmitted by the tarot cards. And so sometimes, that same energy could come out in different dynamics, but apparently, it works for people because it sounds like something that's going on in their lives. I'm guessing that's how it works, right? I don't really know, but I think the Rosicrucians figured it out, or the people that organize these decks, the people that study these hermetic sciences that are lost to us. It's part of us that's lost. Part of it that's been hijacked. All right, so I got Danica's name tag out. I'm partial to people named Danica because I'm a member of my family, but now I'm going to go back up through the chat and see if there are particular requests. Otherwise, the tarot world knows what you want to talk about, right? All right, so let's check out what's going on here. Salama, coming week. Got it. Good capital letter, Salama. Thank you. I'm looking for capital letters right now. Dealer's choice. Yeah, Arizona Raven got it. Kimberly Bamford got it. Doors deck, art life, soul focus. Good. Did I get the Doors deck out yet? Okay, Art. All set. You're welcome, Art. Thank you. All right. So, soul focus. I think I'm going to focus on Art first, and then I know Spiderbite wanted the Doors deck also, and then Salama has a request, a focus on the week, and then, as far as I can tell, the rest is general reading. The rest are general readings, and we're going to take out some other decks as well, or at least one other one. There's so many good ones. All right, stand by over here, please. Let's go downstairs. Yeah, the Doors deck and a soul focus. That's a nice combination there. All right, Tarot World. Before we turn on the camera, I've been doing this lately. I've been inviting everyone's spirit guides, who I'm going to read for the show, to get in line so that they can piggyback on my spinal column, my brain stem, and send everybody a message. So let's have a soul focus, please. Can we have Art Life's spirit guides, please? Help us out. What is Art Life's soul focus? That's right. Yeah. Where is that compass pointed for Art Life? I totally missed. Can we have a soul focus for Art Life, please? The soul focus for Art Life. Wow. All right, Art Life. This is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out. I need my magnifying glass. It's the Six of Pentacles. I'm examining the picture. It's so lovely. It's a mother and a child. Someone left a gift basket at their door. Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles. This is giving and receiving. And the Six of Pentacles also talks about charity. Sounds like there's some giving or donating of time there and services. The next one is the Four of Swords, relaxation. This gentleman is probably vision impaired, but he's not stressed. He's relaxed. He's using his third eye as much as anything to guide him. Look for people to help. I don't want to, again, entertainment purposes only. I don't want to advise people to become a caretaker. Okay, but anyway, let's move on with the cards here. The King of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is, this guy's almost like the opposite of the King of Pentacles. Four of Cups there is looking a little bit like a slob. And the King of Pentacles is dressed to the T's. So the King of Pentacles, he's the guy that's in charge of the books. He's in charge of the wealth and the fine. He's accumulated it all. He's got a very fat treasure chest, as it were. But, this guy has as much, but he just doesn't appreciate it. I think this is like what we're talking about, your soul's goal here. This person does not appreciate life, right? But this person does. And the real treasure is what's inside, right? The soul. How about giving me a hint about where I'm supposed to go with my soul? Well, this card says Two of Wands. You already have a good plan. The universe likes your plan. You have the green light. You should go. Let's take a better look at this picture. It's an elegantly dressed lady. Oh, but you know what? She's a, wow. She's walking through the door like she's dematerializing through it. Okay. And again, that's a Two of Wands. You have a good plan. You can go places that you didn't think you could. You really can do what you think you can do. So it's up to you how your soul looks at the end of the show. But this guy has been active. This guy's not so active. I think your Art Life, I don't even know why this guy's like someone who shouldn't even be in the picture, because you wouldn't even be tuned in if this guy was part of your life. But sometimes, well, this card also says, by the way, we're looking to appreciate all the gifts that the universe gives us so that we can put it in our treasure chest, in our safe. Okay, so Six of Cups, happy memories. And King of Cups, that's the accomplished authority and father figure who is a well-balanced intellectually and emotionally as a person who cares about his subjects. I see art. I feel like there's a path of spiritual success for your soul focus here. It's kind of like your soul was left as a gift for you under the Christmas tree, if it was my house, or, on the doorstep for you. And there's a lot of joy. I have a soul. I have an opportunity. Thank you, universe, for giving me this chance. I'm going to use my third eye, my intuition, to make my way. I know I can't see everything. That's how the game is designed. But I'm not going to sit around and wait for the universe to bring it to me. I'm going to appreciate what the universe gives me, and I'm going to make it part of my wealth. And then watch as I go from there as a soulful human being, an immortal spiritual being leading a human existence. I can materialize in time and space wherever I want. I have magical powers. But when the whole show is over, Art Life, the more happy memories I have, the more relationships I build, that both have boundaries and lift up others, the greater the King of Cups I will be. And that's how my soul is going to ascend and progress. Hey, Art, I tried to do the best I could. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. And, if any of this is true, it's an honor to have you tune into the show. Again, thank you. Thank you, Tarot World. Thank you, Art Life's Spirit team. I'm going to give these a toss. I want to say hi to Emarquat. Thank you for joining us, Emarquat. I appreciate you coming out to see the show again. And next up on the Doors deck is Spider Bite. Here we go, Spider Bite. I wonder if these tarot cards are going to be as entertaining as the text you are putting in the chat right now. Yes, thank you, Art. I appreciate the practice. These cards are for Spider Bite. Thanks for tuning in from another hemisphere. Here comes a message for Spider Bite. I don't like it when they give me like a double or a triple or a cluster on the Doors cards. They're very rich with meaning. It's all right here. Okay, fine, good. Okay, yeah, I need the practice. Here I go, Spider Bite. Let's have some fun. Oh, yay, this is the funnest one in the whole deck. The 10 of Swords. The hard times are over. Hooray, it's Sunday morning, and I had acupuncture this week. I feel much better now that the pain is over. Then you have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups. So now I got a brand new life, brand new love, romance, proposal. And the Two of Cups says, I got a brand new partner or someone to talk to. Maybe not brand new, but this is what we're focusing on right now. The hard times are over. Yay. I got a new friend. Okay. Looks like you're making friends in my chat. The Three of Swords. Oh, was there heartache? Did we feel lonely and left out? Did anyone call Grandma this month? Okay. Well, let's turn it upside down. We already fixed the problem. Right? And then the Knave or Page of Swords. Right. This guy looks like a jerk, like he's a predator, okay? But the Page of Swords is the bright ideas person, the new way of communicating, the go out and play guy. But this is the Doors deck. So we already turned Grandma upside down here with her Three of Swords. It looks like we already have a friend to play with, okay? And so, the Star card. Be inspired. Look at those beautiful stars. All right. Hey, Spider Bite, that was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for tuning in again. I'm going to give these cards a toss. All right, and next up, Salama wanted a forecast for the week. So I'm going to pull out the Robin Wood deck. This is not Rider-Waite imagery. It's Robin Wood, but it's imagery I think is at least 100 years old. It's one of the main ones you study and refer to. Probably all channeled imagery as well. Hey, I'm happy to have. Whoops, what happened there? So how do I do it? I take the deck, I rip it half like that. So now I've got this deck held like this. I'm ready to flip these. I'm ready to flip these, and I overlay them together, and then I bend them up, and you get a bridge. It's called a bridge. Anyway, Salama, let's get a forecast for you for the week. Salama's spirit guides are always welcome. If they help Salama, I'm happy to let them share their messages here at STARCARD. All right, Salama, this is for entertainment purposes only. What's coming at Salama this week? The Two of Wands. You have a good plan. The universe likes where your mind is at. Okay. The King of Pentacles. And the Five of Cups. Oh, come on. All right, I'm going to go to the book on the King of Pentacles. Oh, I have to use the Robin Hood book. Okay. King of Pentacles, a rich man, materially and spiritually, steady, reliable, earthy, helpful, and sensual. Let's see how the rest of this plays out in minutes here, Salama. This is the Anamnesis card, the Seven of Cups. Lots of opportunities, lots of things on our mind, lots of things to choose from. Or rumination, maybe. I'm a little bit relieved to see the Three of Pentacles, building something new, implementing something new, back to the drawing board, working with your team and maybe even your spiritual team. So how did that go so far? What's Salama need to be worried about this week? She's got a good outlook, a good plan for the week. This is a rich man. This could actually be like a real person who might actually end up causing some kind of disappointment. But every obstacle isn't really an obstacle. Oh boy, this is not the message I really want to share with Salama, but because I feel like you've had enough obstacles. You've seen enough of the Five of Cups. So anyway, Salama, you've got the right mindset. Okay, maybe there's someone with some clout and disappointment is surrounding him, and it may cause you to consider other alternatives. And here's the message: don't worry. You're working with your spirit guides. They're the ones sending this message. They want to know that they want you to know that they're working with you. And of course, I think last time we had a reading, the message was, I don't know how well you hear your inner voice, but it's time to start asking questions, perhaps. Let's finish the message. Oh, good. Look at how the Two of Wands and Three of Wands show up at the beginning of these sentences. The Three of Wands says, aim higher, look even further. This may just be for this week, but aim higher, have a longer range goal, or maybe even throw something else on the back burner. You can never have too many opportunities going. Like you might see, if I write them down on paper, there's like 7 things I can do. Just do the good ones. Force yourself to do all the good ones. See which one pans out. And so here's the Hierophant. He talks about learning and society and social acceptance. Ace of Swords talks about the truth. Two of Swords, crossroads, making a decision. You have the right outlook going into it. No matter what happens, you're wise enough and perspicacious enough, if I'm using that word correctly, to consider lots and lots of options, including holding hands with your spirit team. And together you can all look way into the future and project, because you're all learned and you have a grasp on reality and the truth, and you're ready for all kinds of decisions, even if all the data hasn't come in yet. All right, Salama, I did the best I could, and I wish you a lot of luck. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I say this a lot. I know it really is an honor to have viewers of the caliber that we have, and those of you tuning into the chat asking me for help. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to give these a toss and go to the next, how many? 20 contestants? I'm teasing. It's not that many. All right. Danica Crabtree. We're going to stay with the Robin Wood deck. Hey, Danica Crabtree's Spirit Guides. I know you know I'm a big fan. Could you please send Danica another helpful message? She really liked the one from yesterday. Can we build upon that message, please? Let's have a message for Danica. Hey, whatever you guys got to say is fine with me. It's helping her out. She's your all-star. Give your MVP what she needs. These are for Danica Crabtree. Yeah, all right. Here we go, Danica. The Four of Pentacles. Prize what shines. Maybe even pinch some pennies. The Queen of Swords. Hey, Danica. The Queen of Swords says you were right. The Ace of Pentacles. There's a brand new opportunity, and could be an opportunity like a project or a job. It could also be like, learning a new hobby or a new, do-it-yourself project. And well, do-it-yourself project. There's a Two of Wands. You got a good plan. Universe likes your plan. You got the green light. Go. You were right about that. It's going to save money. How about that? What's the rest of the message? The Magician. Now's the time to make the magic. The Nine of Cups. It's going to be a wish come true. You're going to do it yourself. And you're going to make it, and it's going to come out great. You're going to save money. Oh, you're going to be so happy about this. Hey, I'm just making a story from the cards, Danica. Anyway, I really hope that this is true. Oh. It's the High Priestess and the Three of Cups, ladies. The High Priestess, we've been talking about her all day. She has high morals, and she's awarded powers because she has, great ethics. She, stands for a purpose. And that's why the Three of Cups is celebrating. This could just be, you explain it to the other parties involved. And, when it was all said and done, they all said, yeah, Danica, good job, Danica. You helped us all. And we could take a little extra money and celebrate, go bowling. All right, Danica, thanks for tuning in again. Good luck. Keep on smiling. That's right. Listen to some Louis Armstrong. When you're smiling. Look at the Five of Cups guy. When you're smiling, the whole world shines with you. Okay. No, I'm not going to do my Louis Armstrong impression. Okay. Kimberly Bamford. Another enthusiastic STARCARD podcast participant. All right. Yeah, that's right. I want to take out the retro deck. Woo, retro deck. Just making sure. One of the last few days, I actually threw some cards, and there was one card still left in the box. Usually, it's not even a problem for the tarot world. Okay, Kimberly Bamford, let's throw some cards. Woohoo! These cards for Kimberly Bamford. Hey, retro deck, take all the time you need. All the cards you want to show us sound cool. Oh, I remember. I need my magnifying glass because it's like dark print, but they are fun cards. Let's have some fun cards for Kimberly. Kimberly Bamford. Hanging out at STARCARD. Come on, retro deck. A fun message for Kimberly, please. Fun? Yeah, sure. Positive, of course. That's fun. Help us build on something. Give us a direction. I mean, that's what we all want. Once you guys just tell us what to do, we'll do it. All right, here we go. Let me get my glass. It's a beautiful card. It's the Judgment card. Boy, I really like this card because, it's a very modest Judgment card. Everybody has clothes on. And there's your Archangel. What is that? Archangel Gabriel blowing his horn. We're sending out the old and we're bringing in the new. These guys are not my favorite. It's the Five of Wands, guys. There sure is a lot of hubbub and commotion. It's like people in the hall, in the waiting room at the hospital, and they're waiting to hear the good news about a birth, maybe. Wow. I shouldn't have chose that particular environment, but there's the Death card, which talks about endings, beginnings, and transformations. Hang on, we're not done with the cards. And the Knight of Swords, galloping forward because you know you're right and you're defending yourself and you're defending the truth. What is going on these cards, Ray? Breakaway Ray. We're swapping out the old and we're bringing in the new. No matter which way you go, the grass is never greener on the other side of the fence. A lot of times it's the same old, but we want to change that. And so we're going to gallop forward in a different direction. We still got cards coming here. The Justice card. We're going to do what's right. This sounds Rosicrucian-esque. We're going to do what's right according to our soul. No matter what, we're going to stand on our ground and die on that hill for a purpose. And you know what? If we stand our ground and we maintain integrity, you have the Nine of Cups show up and it's a wish come true. I mean, all we really have is integrity, right? When you're talking about the Judgment card, these people are clothed. On Judgment Day, though, nobody's got any outfits to wear. All we have is our integrity. We don't even know what it looks like. We just know it feels like the right thing to do. So just keep making, the right decisions. Doesn't matter if someone's going to be upset. Someone's always upset. Kimberly Bamford, you know about this already, right? I mean, I don't know if you've had children, but you know that that's the way people are. And no one's really concerned about anybody else's situation. So we got to be mindful of our own. Thanks, Kimberly. I appreciate you being here. I see that Namira checked in. Hi, Namira. Thank you very much for being here. What have I got here? I still have 5 more to go. Let's go to Patrine, numerology. Hey, Patrine. The Rosicrucians have a message for you. Let's go to their favorite deck. Patrine, numerology, calling your spirit guides. I'm calling their number to come up to the counter. Happy to deliver the message to Patrine, numerology. I hope the move went well. I imagine if the move went well, we might see a queen on this throw. These cards are for Patrine, numerology. All right, let's get some good numbers for Patrine. Hey, Patrine. The Emperor, you're totally in control, or the aspect of control. Wow, 10 of Pentacles. Sounds like the move went well. Better than you planned, maybe. Certainly more efficient. You have divine domestic bliss and long-term security. That you pulled that off well. I know you had planned it for a long time. Okay. Yeah, you had planned it for a long time. The 7 of Cups. You had a view of it all in astral form as you made your decision. And then the Sun card says, voila, everything went great. Nice. So now you have the Knight of Pentacles. Now you have this great new abode, this great new project to work on. Great new place to nest. Obviously, I'm going with a new home theme. The Page of Cups, what a happy surprise. And the 3 of Cups, get out there and celebrate. Congratulations, Patrine. We're all happy for you. Consider this reading my housewarming gift. Thank you very much. I don't even know if we're on the same continent, Patrine, because I would invite myself to the housewarming party. I'm kidding. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving my zip code. I know myself better than that. All right. Next up. Oh, we're going to throw cards for Missing Time 420. Nice. I'm going to give the retro deck a rest, and I'm going to go back to, you know what? Let's get the, really, one more. That means I have to reshuffle. All right, I already said it. I'm going to get it out. It's the Lightseers deck. I just like seeing the pictures. Missing Time 420. I really appreciate hearing comments like Jason's Missing Time 420 from him and from other people, you know, that they value my reading so much. Oh, I got to step away, but I'm going to check the recording. And then people like Missing Time 420, they actually send me a message later and they say, hey, I got the message. Thank you very much. So obviously these are not people who are taking the tarot world for granted, and certainly it helps me. I appreciate the reflection, right? It helps me refine my little practice here. So here we go. Missing Time 420. Whenever you watch this, these cards are for you. Your spirit guides are welcome anytime. Are you kidding? What do they want to do? They want to hold your feet to the fire? Why am I thinking about that? Come on, this guy's always involved. He's active. Are you suggesting a media fast? I don't know. Let's read the cards instead. I don't want to guess. These cards for Jason from the Lightseers deck. Okay. I think we would all love direction. And that's what we're looking for. Well, you know, that's why people in the 20th century used to read their horoscopes in a newspaper. Give us a clue. Thank goodness the tarot cards give us something positive to do. Here we go. Missing Time 420. It's for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for tuning in. The Page of Pentacles. All right. Brand new project. Brand new something to learn. Going through those disclosure files, for example. The King of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So the King of Swords is kind of like a spirit guide or your higher self. And he's saying, enjoy the fruits of your labor. So you're already on to something. You're already like pursuing an adventure or a rabbit hole or something like that. And it's a good idea too. You're on to something. The Knight of Wands. So keep on going and rock out. And that's the whole thing, having fun. And the Ten of Wands, well, the Ten of Wands talks about completing a lot of work. But you know what? When you're having fun and you're rocking out like she is, okay, it doesn't even feel like work. I used to look at musicians all the time in concerts and say, you know, that doesn't look like work at all. Look at how much fun they're having. You know, they're up there with their microphone singing a song. I'm making millions of dollars. Okay, anyway, here's the end of your message. Ace of Cups. It's a brand new opportunity, a brand new passion, and you're going to be a great custodian, a great employee in that department. In that, say, department, that area of study, that niche. Anyway, Jason, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for inviting me to read. I hope it was a good one. I had fun reading. Oh, Spiderbite, I see a message in the chat from you that our friend Mark is in the house. Hey, Mark. Oh, I'll just take a time out and say hi to Mark. Hey, Mark. Really glad that you tuned in again. Thanks for tuning in from down under. I know you and Spiderbite have a good time with your little watch parties, watching STARCARD podcast. I'm sorry you came in after the line. I'm like a little loaded with readings, but maybe we'll catch you next time. You know, have an awesome day or night. All right. So I'm going to go back downstairs now. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Spiderbite. Mark, check out Spiderbite's reading. Can you figure out what that was about? She's got it on the recording. Okay. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Lisa, Talcott, Tailcat. Here we go. And I'm going to go light seers with you too. These cards are for Lisa. Yeah, way to go, Spider Bite. You're welcome. Thank you. Are you kidding? Having a pen pal like you and Mark down there, that's pretty awesome. Lisa Tailcat. She's got her notebook open, making leaps and bounds of progress. Okay, here we go. I don't know if she has. Do you have tarot cards yet? Did you tell me this already? I don't know. I know you're pursuing holistic practices. Am I stating that correctly? Anyway, energy healing. Way to go, Lisa. I know the tarot world is rooting you on. I certainly am as well. I just think my personal take is like starting businesses seems like a hard thing to do because that's not something I'm used to doing. That doesn't mean, I mean, I'm often intimidated by new activities. Can you tell? But these cards are for Lisa, not for her nervous friend, Breakaway Ray. All right, Lisa, here we go. You got the World card. Everything's finished. Then the Two of Pentacles says everything's not finished because now you got two things going on. And the Three of Pentacles says, don't worry, you're working with a team. And that could, in fact, be your spirit team. Huh. Or shall I read that another way? Your world has two things going on. Nevertheless, you do have help across the board in the invisible world. Okay, the Seven of Pentacles, go with what you're growing. You're cultivating the right things. The Ace of Wands, I'm glad you're cultivating your pineal gland because that's where all the action is. You'll need to study the chakra system if you haven't already, like I know anything about it. The Seven of Swords, it's the hidden / revealed card. Someone's getting away with something. You know, when you're cultivating what you got going on, when you're going with what you're growing, you're going to activate some magic. People are going to be surprised by it, and they're going to wonder how you did it. And they're going to say, like, it's going to look like a magic trick with some of the stuff that you can do. And in another way, the more you cultivate your pineal gland, the more will be revealed to you. That's the most simple reading of all. So I presume you have a ritual meditation practice. And if you're writing in your notebook and you're doing so for more than 20 minutes at a sitting, I wouldn't do that more than once a day, by the way. But if you are writing for more than 20 minutes at a sitting, yeah, you're getting good, straight info from your higher self. Okay, so the Ten of Swords says, look at how peaceful this picture is because the hard times are over. Okay, we can relax now. And the Seven of Cups says we got all kinds of opportunities now. We don't have like obligations we got to worry about, including, things that make us feel emotionally bonded. No more trauma bonding. Forget that. All right. So the hard times are over. All the opportunities are here. Probably because of the hard times. And the Nine of Swords, that's the one that represents sleepless nights. But I guess that's up to, the person who's getting the reading. And, I guess sometimes you got to cry it out. But you know what? We're totally in charge of our perspective. Cry it all out. Get all the tears out so you don't have to cry anymore. That might have been reading bias on my part, Lisa. Maybe I was projecting my message onto you. But in any case, it was a fun and lovely reading, a good message for anyone, right? Thanks a lot for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Thanks for inviting me to read. Okay, great. We're doing good, everybody. Arizona Ravens next. Here we go, Arizona Raven. Oh, wow. And Antonietta's last. I think like she was like one of the first in the chat. Anyway, Arizona Raven, good morning to you. I guess it doesn't matter what time in the morning it is. If I'm throwing cards, you're probably up. I wonder when. I mean, it's not my business, so I'm not going to ask. Arizona Raven, thanks for making time to join us at STARCARD. Happy to throw cards for you. Thanks for all your support. I've learned a lot about doing a podcast with your help and your participation. So here you go. Your spirit guides are clearly comfortable here, hijacking my brainstem and sending you a message, which I'm happy to do. Throw those there, 4 of them. Okay, why not? Arizona Raven, the Justice card and the 5 of Pentacles. Does someone have to pay a fine? Someone leave a car, got towed or something like that? Feels like someone had to, face the law for better, whether it was just or not, they met the consequences. Let's take a look at the rest of this. Mom walks into the kitchen, the cereal's on the floor, the 2 kids are pointing at each other, and the mom says, somebody's got to clean this up. 3 of Pentacles. Let's build something new. Let's work with a team. Look at that. The World card, completion. How is this going here? Maybe we're serving others because it's the right thing to do. We have the help from the spirit world, and that makes our world complete. Like we're helping people who could use a hand out and could use maybe a job or a connection, building bridges. And because we do that with people that we meet, because everybody has God in them, right? Well, there's their spirit guides, and they're all saying, you know what? We can lend energies to help you. And then you have a complete exchange of energy. Okay. In other words, it's like the pay it forward thing, right? You're helping someone just because you can, and maybe they can't pay you back right away, but that energy is coming back at you on a regular basis. It completes your world. So let's read the rest of them. 4 of Wands. It's the homecoming card. It's a celebration. The death card and the death and rebirth card, transformations. The 5 of Swords, it says a message of, you got to get out there and win, but it also talks about dealing with abuse. So I guess it depends on which way you hold the card. And the 5 of Cups talks about disappointment. Wow, what a challenge. It's the right thing to do to help those people, and you know that they do appreciate it. It does come back to you. Good karma is good karma. And that's why you should celebrate the opportunity to transform situations of abuse and disappointment because you're lifting other people up. I wonder how close I am. The Devil card. The Jim Morrison character says there's something to let go. Well, Arizona Raven, I'm sure you'll let me know how close we were. Seemed even a little bit cryptic for me this time. So I want to say, I think I said hello to Emarquat again. I want to say hi again, Emarquat. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. I think you realize that I've already drawn the line, and this will be at my last reading today. If you have an emergency, Emarquat, you can even send me an email, and we could set up something separately. But otherwise, maybe we'll catch on another StarCard podcast. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to throw these for Antonietta. Here we go. Antonietta Barlone, 4623. Barlone, 4623. These cards for Antonietta. Yeah, very good, Emarquat. I appreciate your comment. Thanks very much. All right. That's cool. Here, these are for Antonietta. It was a great show. Thank you, Arizona Raven. Thanks for that message. I'm going to read your comment later. I'm almost through here. Okay, Antonietta, this ought to be another dramatic reading, describing Marvel's superhero-like confidence and magical abilities. Antonietta, the King of Pentacles. He's balanced spiritually and financially. Money gravitates to him. He can't help it. Pentacles just come jingling-a-linging down the hill and into his wallet. And he shares the wealth with his loved ones and friends and family and the community around him in the Ten of Pentacles, because we got long-term security. And if everyone else has long-term security, we can all be happy together and ride this thing out together in a happy way. And you know what? When it comes to Antonietta, look at that lovely hair. Antonietta, she's imagining all this. She's totally in control. She's like Louise Hay. She could win the lottery if she played it more often. Okay, she knows how to make currency come from the sky, pennies from heaven. And the Six of Pentacles says part of that is the giving and the receiving. Because if you give, that means receiving is on the way for you. Antonietta. The Eight of Wands says right now, the Ace of Pentacles says you get yet another opportunity and another project. Wow, as if you weren't the Renaissance person already, get ready to acquire a new skill and take on a new project, a new opus. Antonietta, there's your Four of Wands. It's a homecoming and a celebration. What a lovely card to finish the show with. Thank you, Tarot World. Thanks to all the people participating in the chat and inviting me to read. Gave me a lot of good practice. And I want to thank you very much. You made my day. Now get out there and make your own day. I'll see you next time on STARCARD Podcast. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. See you around.